Hey everyone, it's Emily and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about my June TBR. I kind of wanted to do a few different genres and I definitely wanted to focus on LGBTQ representation. Honestly, I feel like I do that almost every month, but that's kind of just like one of the main genres that I read. That along with like high fantasy. But I really wanted to promote some new LGBT books this month that I haven't read yet, but I know a lot of people have. But I did do a video of a bunch of new LGBT releases that I will put up above. And if you are looking for something new to read that you haven't heard of probably, please feel free to check out that video. There are some really awesome books that are on it, along with lots of links down below to even more. So I want to talk about my TBR this month. Like I said, it's gonna be a lot of queer representation. I wanted some different themes and topics in my books. The majority of this is just because I haven't gotten around to reading them yet and I've been wanting to read them, but also some new books as well. Well, new to me, I should say. I filmed a May wrap-up video and it was like 35 minutes long and I hated it, so I may try and redo my May wrap-up video. But honestly, I read a lot of good books in May. For whatever reason, it was just taking me forever to talk about it. Speaking of, if you want to see what I'm reading, I have my story graph, my Instagram, and my Goodreads all linked down below. I post a lot about what I'm reading on there if you want to keep up. I wanted to keep my TBR this month pretty small because I've been reading a lot and I'm really afraid of burning myself out. So if I get through all of these books, I will be so happy. And then also knowing that there's a chance that I can get through even more. So like that is something that I'm really looking forward to as well. But okay, enough chitter chatter. So I'm actually borrowing this book from a friend. It's called Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I am probably the only person on this planet who hasn't read this book yet or watched the movie, so I really don't know much about it. I know that there's this boy in the closet, and that's about it, and something about an email. It just seems like it's a staple book for a lot of people to read, and Kelsey Logan and I were actually talking about this after the live yesterday, and Kelsey Logan and I were actually talking about this after our Heartstopper live. And I feel like it's just a book that I should read, and it's a staple for LGBT rep in books, and it's not old, but it's like older compared to a lot of the other stuff I've been reading, so I'm really looking forward to it. It's fairly short, and like it's just something that I think I'll be able to get through fairly quickly, and I'm excited to see like what it's all about, because I've heard so much about it, but I really don't know much about it. This month I'm also gonna read She Gets the Girl. I just bought this from a local bookstore. Like, okay, story time. I found this book, well, I didn't find it. I was on a Bumble friend date. I don't know if that's something that a lot of other people have done. Okay, story time. Since moving to Belgium, I've been looking for some more friends to hang around with because I don't really know anyone here outside of Hugo and like our couple of friends. And so I went on this Bumble date from a girl who happens to be from Chicago, which is crazy. And she was so sweet and so nice. And at the end of us getting lunch together, she was like, "Can I show you this bookstore?" And I was like, "Can we go right now?" So we walked to this bookstore and it is like, it has the most English books out of like anywhere in the city. And it was amazing, and the books were very reasonably priced, especially for like an indie bookstore. It's also a wine bar, and you get half off a glass of wine with every book you purchase, or no, with every purchase. And like, this place is incredible. So anyway, we spent like an hour there, and I went back and I bought these books because one, I've been wanting to read it, but also I was just like, anything I can do to support local bookstores that provide me with English literature at a reasonable price. So anyway, I watched She Gets the Girl, which I don't, again, really know that much about it, but first of all, I love this color, the color of this cover. Just, it is so pretty, and I almost like it more than the yellow one with the rollerblades, but I love the color. It caught my eye. It just sounds like a really cute sapphic romance, and you know, we always can use more of those in our lives. So I picked up this one. And I think it's like fake dating to lovers or something like that. Or if it's not fake dating, it's like this one person helping the other person to get over someone. It's one of those kind of like romancy books. But I really love it, and like it sounds like it's gonna be really cute, and I really cannot wait to read it. So yeah, this one is also on my TBR. The other book I bought from that bookstore is Ace of Spades, which I'm really excited for. This one has been on my TBR for what feels like forever, ever since Yasmin and a few of my other friends read it. I have been looking to get my hands on it. And on top of that, it's a thriller mystery with LGBT representation, which is really exciting because as much as I love my queer romance, because like who doesn't love love, I love having that kind of representation and everything mixed together. I love when books contain a lot of intersectionality because I feel like I can get a lot more out of it. It's supposed to be really thrilling and I'm excited to read it, and ever since I started hearing about it, I just knew that it was going to be good. So I really cannot wait to read it. If you guys have read this, please let me know down below your thoughts. I purposefully don't really know that much about it because a lot of the time I like to go into books really not knowing a lot because it helps me get a lot more out of it. I really hope that I enjoy it. It's got lots of good reviews, so I am definitely looking forward to this one this month. The next book I'm reading this month is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which is a very long title. I'm also borrowing this one from the same friend that I'm borrowing Simon versus the Homo Sapien Agenda, another very long title. And this one is actually a queer sci-fi, which is something that like you do not hear very often, at least I don't. Maybe there's a whole like list of books out there that I don't know of, which totally possible. I don't really know much about it, but I know that it's a larger cast of characters, and that's really about it. So it has got some really awesome reviews, and my friend who I'm borrowing it from really loved this book, so I really cannot wait to read it. And I mean, like, queer people in space. Say less. Okay, and the last book on my TBR this month is The Atlas 6. You can see I do not have my dust cover on it because I'm actually currently reading this one. I'm like 50 pages in. It's taking me a long time to read. So like, I'm a pretty fast reader. I don't want to say I'm a speed reader, but I do have a habit of my eyes just like very quickly like zooming. With this book, I'm having a hard time, like I'm reading every single word on the page, which is very different for me and my fast squirrel brain, but I'm really liking it so far. It's very different than I thought it was going to be, which is not a bad thing. Like, I don't know what I was expecting going into it. Again, I read like the inside cover of the book, I heard a couple reviews about it, and I was like, no, I need to read it. So here I am reading it. I know it has to do with like if the Library of Alexandria didn't burn down sort of thing, and like there's magic in the world and like people can possess magic and they're all competing to like work at this library. I was so excited when I heard what it was about, but plot-wise, I know virtually nothing. I hear it's queer and I'm going with it, so I hope it is. But this one is my current read. I'm not that far in. I don't know if you can see, but I'm definitely loving it so far. I'm loving the writing style of it a lot, and it's giving me like gothic, dark academia vibes. I guess that makes sense since we're talking about like a library here, but that's kind of like what I'm getting from it. And I love that the characters are all so different and interesting. So I really hope it turns out to be a 5-star read. As of right now it is, but I have a long ways to go. Oh, I forgot, I'm also reading one other book. It's not with me right now. I left it in my bag somewhere, I need to find it. But I'm also reading the Gilded ones. And I hear this one has queer rep in it, so we're just reading LGBT books left and right. The Gilded ones, I'm like a third of the way through it. I've been reading it when I'm like out of the house. It's like my traveling book. I'm really loving it so far. Not a ton has been happening, which kind of sucks. It's like a little bit slow, but I like kind of where we're going with the world here. And I think I have an idea of like what the author is trying to get at. And I hope I'm right because it's very interesting. A lot to uncover there. And my copy is so beautiful. It has like the green sprayed edges. So I really love it. And I think that's everything. So that's like, I don't know, 7 books? 6 books, 7 with Bitter, which I already finished. To be fair, it's like almost a week into June and I'm so sorry that I'm behind in getting this video up. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so it's been a bit hard to film and like be present and be able to concentrate long enough to do a video. So those are all the books that I'm gonna read this month. What are you reading this month? If you want to let me know down below. Have you read any of the books that I'm reading this month? Let me know what your thoughts are on it, but like no spoilers, please, until the end of the month. If you made it this far into the video, as always, thank you so much for watching. It really means the world to me. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. I post a new video every week. I hope you all have a happy Pride Month, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.